I was incensed the other night. I was punch the wall degree mad when I tuned in for episode 3 of the Shards and found out to my disgust that Ryan Murphy, that hack Ryan Murphy, uh, had basically taken Bret Easton Ellis's story and just mangled it. Just decided to throw in all of these ridiculous characters uh, and take this storyline in all kinds of stupid directions and just Ryan Murphy things. Okay, if you've ever seen a Ryan Murphy directed show, he's done a lot of them. You'll be familiar with what I'm talking about. I mean, um, it's not just about excess because excess can be done executed in a way that is interesting and gives you something to chew on, something to think about. But with Brian Murphy's stuff, it just seems to be excess gore, excess sex, excess perversity, uh, just for the sake of I don't know what, just for the sake of being outrageous. Now, the the material that he's drawing from, Bret Easton Ellis's novel, is has is could be described as excessive by some. It's got a lot of sex, both homosexual and hetero. It's got a lot of violence. It's this is the author of American Psycho, after all. Um, it's not like he really holds back, but the difference is he's an artist. He's a legit artist and craftsman and storyteller and you know character creator. Um, and Ryan Murphy is that just a hack, just a total hack. And I think my disgust was especially pronounced because the first two episodes of the Shards were so good. They seem to be following the story of Ellis's novel almost exactly. No, I mean, there's always going to be when you're talking book to film or book to show. Whenever you're making that kind of transition from one medium to another, there's going to be some necessary changes. Some necessary truncations and so forth. But the first two episodes were very much in keeping with the feel of the show of the book, I should say. The book is both a nostalgia trip. It's full of early '80s stuff. Early '80s music and fashion and just these kinds of characters that are very Bret Easton Ellis. These overprivileged, um, beautiful, kids who just have no parental supervision in their lives and are just go around and do what they want, basically, and all kinds of uh, all kinds of chaos unfolds. It's sort of it's a theme in a lot of Ellis's work. Um, you know, and and Ellis does so many interesting things as a writer. He makes himself, or he makes a character that seems to be himself. He puts his own his own personality, a character that's based on him, that's named Brett. He puts it into the midst of the story, as he does. This is something he's done in several of his books now, and it's not self-indulgent in the way that you would think that it is, because it always ends up being a curveball of some kind. You think that, oh, this is Ellis, being autobiographical and confessional, and like this is really him, but clearly it's not. Clearly, the Bret Easton Ellis who shows up in the Shards and in Lunar Park, and in, what was the other one? I can't remember the other one's name. The name of the other one right now. But clearly, it's the character is based on him, but it's not actually him, or it's a different version of him. And he tricks you into thinking this is confessional, and it seems very, very historical. It seems to follow the trends of the times, and until suddenly there's a mention of like some serial killer named the Trawler, who's terrorizing LA in the early 80s, and you think to yourself, I've never heard of a Trawler before, and then you look it up and you find out there was no serial killer named the Trawler, and other things like that. So eventually, it becomes clear that it's not really, this is not autobiography, this is not confessional, this is the author using his own persona in a way that is unpredictable, that is creative, and that makes that defies your expectations. But episodes 1 and 2 were very true to Ellis's book, and I thought this looks great. This looks wonderful. It's got the tunes. The soundtrack was fantastic. It's got the fashion. It has all the look and feel of the novel. And then in episode 3, they suddenly, it's like, it's almost like a sketch. Like they have all these, all of these beautiful and overprivileged, prep school, oversexed prep school seniors, walking in a row, and all of a sudden this totally ridiculous character runs out and joins them. This stupid, I'm not even going to go into it here. But when it suddenly took this left turn, with this really Rhonda character who's not in the book, who's got nothing to do with the book, and it's because Ellis, for whatever reason, just took a hands-off approach. He for everything in the show after episodes 1 and 2. He worked very closely, apparently, with Murphy on the first 2 episodes, and then he said, "Look, go do your thing," and washed his hands of it all, and just sort of let it, and so it was out of his hands. And you can't. Maybe he just didn't want to devote all of his attention to this show. Maybe he felt that his energy was better expended elsewhere, and that's fine. It's just, I think, in the hands of a non-hack, it might have still been okay. But Ryan Murphy just had to take it in this. Oh God, I was so upset. I was so mad. And it's only because I really, really like the source material, and I really think that it's literature for our times, and it needs to be treated reverently. And That's not what happened. So, you know what? In short, fuck you, Ryan Murphy. You fucking hack. That's all I've got to say.